Hey friends, how you doing? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. I am the TheTranspondster and I am playing The Sims 4 in build mode. We are doing a speed build today of a little French bakery. Might look a little misleading because you're looking at 3 buildings right now. This is going to be a small business using the businesses and hobbies expansion pack because I am only a little bit obsessed right now with building these small businesses. But anywho, there are 3 buildings because one is going to be the little bakery tucked off to the side. The biggest building on the right front is going to be the little cottage itself. And then the little building in the back is going to actually be almost like an in-law suite kind of thing where it's got a room with a kitchen and space for a bed and maybe like a little desk or couch to have a little living space. And then it also has a bathroom that can be accessed from the outside as well as through that in-law suite so that the customers to the bakery can also utilize a bathroom as well. That's why there's that outdoor door. All right. So when it comes down to it, the family that's living here is going to be just a small family. It's an elderly couple and their adult daughter. I do feel like they've lived in this home their whole life. They maybe just had their daughter's bed in their room until she was old enough to sleep in that in-law suite in the back. I'm thinking like late childhood, early teens kind of thing, because they were just humbly running their small business up until then. They definitely had a making ends meet time period, but even though they haven't grown into this big, massive bakery, they've become very well known in their own little community. We're building in Windenburg, which the particular neighborhood that I'm in, I can't remember the name of it right now off the top of my head, but it is the top left of the map when you're looking at the map view of Windenburg. So yeah, that I'm doing that part of Windenburg based off of like the French countryside. So this is a French bakery, and it being the countryside, they're not expecting this booming business, but everyone that lives around them through word of mouth kind of thing has grown to love this little bakery and frequents it often. So they have remained humble as owners, but aren't really making ends meet anymore. They are surpassed that and just living life well a little bit because they've stayed very humble in their lifestyle. So it's been a very rewarding experience for the family. I don't typically do landscaping first, but I was, I guess, trying to figure out the flow a little bit of where everything was going to go and how I was going to piece this all together. It is very open to the customers. So while they're probably not going to be entering the other buildings other than the bathroom, they will likely use the backyard space because it's not really sectioned off as like, you know, the residential part of the lot because it's not enclosed and they would have to walk through it to get to the bathroom anyways. So it's not like there's too much back there for them to do. I think I just end up getting in like a little patio table sort of deal, maybe gardening. I can't even quite remember. I'll be seeing it with you for the first time. But yeah. I also made it a point to do each building in a different wall texture because I wanted to make it look like either maybe they had a second building on the lot or that they had to construct the other two buildings themselves at different points in time. So this was a gradual thing for this family to build up over the years. And I just like that unique quality to it, the sense of realism where it's not all so matchy-matchy. I've been really digging red lately, I think, which is so weird because if you asked me a year ago if I ever used red in builds, I would tell you hell no. It was my least favorite swatch on everything, basically. And the only reason I really started to use red in my builds at all is because of this whole breaking out of my comfort zone thing that I've been pushing myself to do in builds, gameplay, create sim, all of it. So yeah, it's crazy how much doing stuff like that opens this game up. Like, that's where I need to give The Sims credit. Maybe not, because really they're not doing anything but making a game that requires imagination and to test all the parts of it. So, yeah, for its full enjoyment, I mean, like, obviously I've enjoyed my Sims life the whole time I've been doing it, but I just have a different sense of enjoyment for it right now because I'm getting aspects that I've never had before. Like, I have never played a mean sim. Never. And I've been playing this game for like 20 years. Wow, that's wild. That I've just always played the author, the cook, the artist, the teacher, like, you know? Even like going back to Sims 2 days, I didn't really get out of that comfort zone. The most I did different was using I was about to call it businesses and hobbies, but back in Sims 2 it was open for business, and you know what I did? I had a bakery or a hair salon and very like crafty cooking type things. Yeah. Not very explorative whatsoever. So this is opened my eyes to how this game not necessarily needs to be played, but like if you're sitting there saying this game's boring or like it's lost its touch, maybe like you're missing part of the game and that's the missing key. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I could also be right. So maybe it's worth looking into. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just, playing. All right, so this build is very tight. I could not fit more than 2 seats here, so even though it is a 3-sim household, technically one of those Sims is a young adult and lives in her own unit out back, so she's probably not coming over for dinner every night, maybe once in a blue moon, and they could just, move the rocking chair over or pull the desk chair out of the bedroom, and now she can eat with them, so no big deal. Realistically, it's The Sims, and even if you want them to sit down and eat together, it's like a coordinated thing you have to do. It's tricky to have it naturally happen in your game, but that's okay. It's part of the quirks of the game and why we love it, right? I will make a little mention that when they updated the dining room and study or like office icons, it sort of fixed my problem of always clicking the table expecting a desk and then getting a dining table. So thank you for that little update, EA. I'm liking you there. I did forget to mention that when it comes to decorating this lot, I did filter out to be French country and I believe vintage. although I'm second guessing that I picked farmhouse. So either way, it is limited in items a little bit and style type, but I didn't really limit packs. So it might just naturally be a somewhat limited pack build, but I'm also thinking it probably won't be, so don't get your hopes up. I haven't actually uploaded it to the gallery at the time of voice recording, so I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, just a warning, I guess. I don't typically decorate bathrooms all that much. Like, I do, but I don't. I definitely spent more effort and time in this bathroom than I do most. And I don't really have a reason for it other than it just sort of happened. And now we're moving into that back lot. So you'll finally see what I mean, where this is kind of like an in-law suite. I have the idea that once the older Sims officially retire, they might move out back to this in-law suite and let their daughter have their old home. Or they might just, move on to a different home and give their daughter the whole thing. So that's kind of my idea for this lot. You could even hypothetically change it up to where this isn't a residential part of the build, but actually public, and would be able to have like a makeshift bed and breakfast kind of deal. So it's all up to your gameplay, how you want to make this lot work for you. I'm just sharing my mindset behind it, and you can run with that, or you can 1000% not do that at all. So the world is yours, or this lot at least is yours now. Just don't say it's your build. Like, if you're taking credit for it, maybe I don't like that as much, but you are more than welcome to use this lot however you want to use it. I'm not going to limit you. You may have noticed that unlike the rest of the build, this room is very dark, moody, not as red. The daughter is more into blues and purples than red tones, so she has definitely shown that that is her space, and her mother has not designed it for her. I did also forget to mention that they do have a little dog living here too, because of course, when you're in the countryside, a dog just seems fitting. We are now into the actual bakery part of the build, and if I'm being honest, this is the most boring part of the build because we're almost done. There's not much space in here, and the items needed to make it function are pretty minimal. And when I go into these little mom and pop bakeries in Canada, not necessarily France, but they're not really, overly decorated or full of furniture. They've got a couple things here and there, but for the most part, it's just like an open space. You walk up to a counter, everyone's working in behind, they got ovens and stuff in there, and you order your bread. So that's what this is. Your typical bakery. I didn't do anything special, but I think it is just perfect. And then I do make a little like pathway to and from all these separate buildings using the base game stones. I got the well in from Get Together. I love it. It's my favorite touch to this lot. It just kind of pieces it all together, makes everything look so much more intentional. It was kind of nice by the end of this build to not be bogged down with all the landscaping left. Sometimes I find that maybe intimidating is the right word, or daunting. It just seems like a lot to handle, and it just makes me not want to finish sometimes. But I didn't really have that feeling here since it was mostly all done already, and I was really thankful for past Adriana for thinking of that. I'm pretty sure at this point we basically just have the terrain paint to finish up because I don't really add too much more to this. I keep it pretty minimal because, like I said, the general public will have access to this area, so I didn't want to make it too cluttered or too fun for NPC Sims. Like, I didn't want too many activity items out and about for them to get involved with. If they sit down at the table, I don't really care that much, so it is what it is. I wish we had a way to kind of control that a little better. Like, if we could maybe draw on the lot like a wall tool, but it's just like an invisible border. Kind of how you can lay out the different rooms. Like, you could draw an invisible room. That would be kind of cool. A curved invisible room. I don't know. I'm just talking now. I'm gonna actually shift into my little goodbye spiel because, as always, this is gonna 1000% sneak up on me, and I'd rather be ahead of the game than, well into my overview, which here it is. Anyway, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, keep showing me your support, helping me out in the YouTube algorithm, letting other people that watch similar videos to you find me. It all helps so much. And most importantly, have an amazing rest of your day. Bye, guys.